Video we will study some properties of heat. Now the first property of heat is that heat is a form of energy, and we have learned about this property in our previous video in which we conducted an experiment using a candle and a spiral paper wheel. The second property of heat is the amount of heat is measured as temperature. Now, how do we measure how do we measure time? We measure time in seconds or using some other units. Now, how do we tell that how much heat is present inside a substance? We describe the amount of heat present inside a substance as its temperature. So if some object has more amount of heat inside it, then it has more temperature. And if some object has less amount of heat energy inside it, then it has less or a lower temperature. So more the temperature, more is the amount of heat energy inside the object. Less is the temperature, less is the amount of heat energy inside the object. Now, the temperature of an object can be measured using a device known as a thermometer. And here I have shown you a thermometer in this image. Now, the units of temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit. Now, what do we mean by units? Now, how do you describe the weight of a person? You can describe the weight of a person in a unit known as kilograms. You can also describe the weight of a substance in grams or in tons or in quintals. Similarly, you can describe time with the units such as seconds or hours or days. Similarly, the unit of temperature, there are two units of temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit. We use one of them at a time. Most commonly we use Celsius. The temperature of the human body is around 37 degrees Celsius. Let us move to the next property. The next property of heat is that heat moves. It's not can, but heat moves. And heat always moves from a hotter place to a colder place. Let us take two quick examples. And in this first image here, I have drawn, or rather in this image, we have some fire. We have some fire here and we have a frying pan. So you might have observed it. You take a cold pan, place it on top of the fire. As the fire has a lot of heat energy, the heat energy from the fire transfers to the colder pan. And when a certain part of the pan becomes hotter, the heat energy transfers from that particular hotter region to colder regions around it. And eventually, even the coldest regions of the pan will receive heat energy. And how long does this heat energy transfer? Until all the parts have same amount of heat energy in them. This simply tells us that heat moves from a hotter to a colder region. Let us take another quick example. You all must have observed a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of milk getting colder if you don't drink it soon. Now, why does this happen? This happens, the hot tea becomes cold because the hot tea loses its heat energy to the surroundings. And in the surroundings, we have got air molecules, large number of air molecules which receive this heat and then they become hotter. And in turn, these air molecules will transfer the heat to more air molecules around them. So heat always moves from a hotter to a colder region. Now I'll see you in the next video with one more property of heat energy. Thank you.